In this video, I promise to give you the truth of how it felt for me after 540 days without masturbation and pornography. Now, here and there, maybe for 1, 2, or 3 days, I may have chanced upon sexually suggestive images. That's normal. But the whole idea is for 540 days, I did not partake. I did not act upon my desires. Now, I know there are a lot of people who look at semen retention as like their way out of suffering in life, and I genuinely believe so much in the power that semen retention has. And yet, at the same time, I will be sharing my personal experience in the sense that I won't hype it up. I won't try and over exaggerate things about what it feels like over 500 days. I'll simply share my personal truth for those of you that wish to know how it feels. So if you struggle with this addiction, if you are interested to know more, or you simply have nothing better to do, keep listening. Now, one caveat, this is my strongest and longest ever streak. But I did break my streak roughly 2 weeks back with a relapse. I may cover more on the relapse in my future videos, but I want to bring you through the journey that I have been on this past 540 days until I had the relapse. Now, first off, the fact of the matter is that semen retention, the journey, is not linear. It's not linear in the sense that the benefits are not linear. I started this journey almost 540 days back, and when I went on 7 days without PMO, which stands for porn, masturbation, and orgasm, 30 days without PMO, 90 days without PMO, I did sometimes feel like a Superman, and I thought to myself, hey, wow, if this effect simply multiplies exponentially, like day 14 is 2 times better than day 7, day 21 is 3 times better, then I would be this would be like the miracle cure for my life. You'd think that reaching day 540 would mean that that would be true, but not exactly. My flatline period, which is the period where you really feel down, no libido, everything feels great. My flatline period only truly ended roughly month 10 in. And even when I recovered from flatline, I simply felt more steady, more secure, more normal, that being my default attitude. I didn't really become Superman in any way. Now, I felt more courageous than usual. I felt calmer than usual. But I didn't really feel that sense of hyper confidence, magnetism, everyone looking at me. I'm the life of the party. And then like just feeling like blessings from the universe and blessings from God just keeps pouring into my life. That is not really the case. But one thing that I must say is that I experience this sense of centeredness. It is in these 540 days where I come to a place that sometimes I feel like I don't really need that much more outside of me to be happy, that I don't need that much more outside of me to be complete. And this refers to many things that a lot of people are seeking. It could be money, it could be women, it could be achievements. Not that all these things were meaningless, in the sense that money still brings a lot of benefits, achievements still feel good, but there is this inner knowing that stabilizes me. That, for example, if I get rejected on a date, if I have my loved ones, my close friends even leave me, I am still me. And that is something that is not that easy to explain. It's like when you retain semen, there's more of you in you. You just keep on accumulating you-ness. And for me, in my personal experience, I felt a lot more comfortable with being me. Now, it's not some hyper confidence, chick slayer kind of intense experience, but I felt more me and I felt more comfortable being me. Somewhere between 1 year and 540 days, I genuinely forgot that I was on semen retention and NoFap. It's just floating somewhere in the background. And to be frank, many days I even forgot like what it feels like to be stimulated to the point of climax. Now, I wouldn't really make a comment as to whether this is good or bad, but I do think that there is a lot of benefits to feeling or to stimulating your sexual desires, but not in the way that comes from pornography or artificial stimulus. If you do see someone in your environment that you find really attractive and you do feel sexual desires for that person, I think it is healthy to have that desire and to in fact let it inspire you to take action, whether to speak to the person, whether to feel inspired to put in more effort into your life and into your work. There's something very natural and very beautiful about having that urge and having that drive. Now, overall, 540 days, was it good? Looking back, I did find myself relying a lot on semen retention and NoFap. I even wrote a post, I think somewhere on Reddit, about how semen retention alone is enough. And I think at that point, I genuinely believed that semen retention alone is enough. But technically, no one thing or one improvement in your life is enough. It's like if you really want to be very good at basketball, you can't just go on semen retention and then hope that your skills improve because semen retention makes your hand-eye coordination better. It makes you run out of breath slower. All these things can help. But if you ask me what's the big difference, it could be a 10%, 20%, or even 30% improvement. But you do need to, like, okay, fine, on semen retention, you learn 30% faster. That doesn't mean that you do not put in the work to learn. It doesn't mean that you do not put in, you could be 30% more productive. But if you do not produce, you do not reap the effects of your heightened productivity. So that was the issue that I found myself. Like my CPU was upgraded, like my specs as a human being were upgraded while being on semen retention. But I did allow a lot of the other bad habits to continue to go unchecked because I told myself, let me continue with like eating fried food, eating sugar. As long as I do this one thing right, that would be good enough for me. I think that was a little bit naive on my side because all these bad habits went unchecked, and you know the culprits: social media, Netflix, binging, mobile games. My pornography addiction may have died, but many other addictions and bad habits still remain. And was my time more productive? Well, I cared a lot less about what people think due to semen retention. But because my attention was still sapped by my bad habits, like I mentioned just now, even if you have a 30% increase in your productivity, if you do not put in that 1 hour a day, 2 hours a day, 4 hours a day, 8 hours a day, it's just not going to you're just not going to see the effects that powerfully. I wish that semen retention alone made me invincible and rock solid, but you have to realize that your life right now is the sum of all your habits, good and bad, and purity, not watching pornography, not masturbating, or practicing semen retention is just one out of 20 crucial good habits that you should have, or one out of 20 bad habits that you manage to kill off. It might be the most important habit, and to me, for a man, it is, because if you're struggling with this, then kudos to you for struggling. Keep struggling. It's not like as if because I relapsed a while back, I no longer believe in. I believe so much that if you stay pure, you will learn so much about yourself. You will not be that simp, that goon that just goes running after women, but instead there will be that centeredness. And to be honest, it will stay with you, the lessons that you learn. So purity and semen retention is still the way to go no matter what. And I personally will follow this way of life for the rest of my life. But it cannot be the excuse to cling onto the rest of your bad habits that you currently have. If you are smoking something right now, you are still drinking a lot right now, you are not exercising, etc., all these things, big or small, will affect you. If quitting pornography helps you to overcome all these addictions, good. But for myself, because of a stupid reasoning in my mind, I did not pay. It's like I underestimated these bad habits, and I just told myself, as long as I slayed this one dragon, that is purity, as long as I slayed this one dragon, which is being able to go on semen retention for a long time, my life will change. I have realized that that is not true. So I do hope that for the subsequent next few weeks or months, I will share with you what I'm up to. And in fact, what I'm up to is killing off a lot of these other bad habits. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about this term called monk mode, where not only do you get rid of pornography, you get rid of a lot of other bad habits. And I want to have that more holistic approach to living, because I believe that is where my next improvement will come from. So stay tuned to part 2 and part 3 of this video, and I will continue to share how much more I've changed in these 540 days. I will share about how I relapse, my lessons from it, and how I plan to take things forward from here on. Till next time, I will see you again.